can't say anything.
Right. Did you have any questions for me? Oh God, that is horrible.
The latest victims of the hole punch. Each one of them had a hole in their upper lip, carved out by a standard issue, 1/4 inch diameter, single hole punch.
Yes, I know. It is fair enforcing it.
See, this guy right here had his hand cut in half by, and get this, dipped into vodka, a blunted tipped pair of kitty scissors. Actually, I believe they're called safety scissors, ironically.
Wait, but how?
Because there are no bones holding your fingers together. So if you pull hard enough, you can rip a hand apart like a juicy rotisserie chicken. This guy had both eyelids of both eyes stapled to his eyes when we found him. His limbs were bound so tight by rope that each one of his joints were dislocated. This girl, right here, she had her front teeth melted by acid. Yeah. I mean, can you just imagine the feeling when the acid just gets down to the nerve?
Please stop.
Oh, you feel sorry for them?
Of course.
Well, don't! The hand guy was pissed drunk on vodka when he ran over our line cook. Poor bastard had just gotten off of working a double shift to support his handicapped girlfriend and their son. He was a minor, so he got out early. Oh, the eyelid guy? Yeah, serial rapist. Yeah, he was smart though. Never left any evidence. Always had an alibi. So of course there weren't any convictions. But we all know that he did it. The tooth chick? Yeah, she was selling heroin to kids so that she could stay high. I don't feel shit for any of these scumbags. They're just lucky that the hole puncher doesn't kill.
I don't think I have to comment.
See, none of the other victims had anything in common until these last three. All students at your school. But, I mean, what did these kids do?
I don't know, they had a few referrals, but that's about it.
See, we cross-referenced their class schedules. None of them had any classes in common. What am I missing here?
They're not in the same grade level, so they don't have any classes together. And I guess they just happen to not be taking any elective together either.
So, what you're telling me is that there's nobody who deals with all three of these kids. What about those referrals you mentioned?
Each course assigned assistant principal deals with those.
And you are the only common link.
Me? No, that's the third. I don't even know these kids.
You're lying to me! You're gonna tell me you have been principal of this school for 5 years and you don't know any of these kids!
Do you know how many kids are in typical high school these days?
Hey. Someone's just confessed to the hole puncher's crimes.
Sorry. What? But where is he?
It's out of heat.
Her. You gotta be kidding me.
Nope. She walked in, said she's the hole puncher.
Wait, so she gave you details about the crimes that we didn't release to the public?
No, she didn't have to. She had this. Yep, human cocktail containing all the missing upper lip pieces cut out by the hole puncher. For Meredith, she's still throwing up in the bathroom.
You could have led with that. Oh.
Well, she did. She walked in the front door, put this jar right on the counter and said she's the hole puncher.
What a fucking day. Well, let's go
detectives. How's your day going?
You guys, quit!
It's fine, thanks.
Yeah, fine.
That's simply wonderful. You know, kids nowadays, they like to rap F the police. But I always tell them it's a thankless job. Be nice to the law enforcement.
So, Mrs.
Yes, I'm not married.
Hey, what was your connection to the victims, ma'am?
Oh, I was their teacher, dear.
No, see, that's a lie, because you weren't on any of their class schedules.
I'm in special education, darling. I'm funded by the state. I co-teach with the core teachers, so I'm never a teacher of record.
But
You-
none of the kids were
Whoa,
on.
whoa, whoa, whoa. You teach retards?
Shame on you, detective.
None of the kids were on special education classes, though.
No, they didn't have to be. I support inclusion students in a general education setting. I always have mixed classes.
Ah, so what grades do you teach, or what co-teach?
Biology for the freshmen, physics and chemistry for the sophomores and juniors. Oh, and I always have a couple of seniors, those slackers. Usually have to retake at least one of those.
Yeah.
So what you're telling us is that you just decided to take your worst kids and teach them a lesson all on your own.
Well, yes, dear. I'm retiring. I only have a few days left. What better present to give my graduating students than to rid the world of a few bad seeds?
And let me guess, if they get bad grades, they're bad seeds.
Absolutely not. If my learning disabled students become dishwashers, that's an honest living. I respect that. But these kids, the ones that I target, they are leeches on society and they must be punished. May I have a glass of water, please? Thank you, dear. I always like to track the progress of my students, even after graduation. But these kids, these bad kids, they prey on the weak. They profit from pain, and they never contribute. There's a pattern of defiance and disrespect. You can always tell who's going to grow up to be a thug or a scammer. 40 years of teaching, I've never been wrong.
So the old victims were your students too?
Yes, in another district. Oh, I should have started earlier. Adonis always coming back from lunch with alcohol on his breath, and Oscar forever harassing the girls in my class. We failed to teach them to be law-abiding citizens. I failed. I'm partially responsible, so I'm righting my wrongs.
What kind of teacher are you?
The best kind. Look, through my entire career, I never crossed the line. I never even took a sick day unless I was actually sick. I came in early every morning, bright and early, ready to do my darn best. Oh, detectives. I just hope that the teachers teaching your children care half as much about their jobs as I ever cared about mine.
You cared about them so much that you kidnapped and tortured them.
These monsters have no natural predators. I merely tried to instill a little fear of the God in them. And I promised that I would never kill them. I'd always leave them alive, with the promise that if they ever misbehaved again, then Hole Puncher would return to take another piece of their flesh.
Wait, I know that's a Shakespeare reference.
Very good.
like old.
And you're a dashing young man.
No. They're like, how were you able to pull it off?
Oh, it wasn't difficult, dear. Most of them partake in the marijuana. So just need a little extra chemistry to make them fall asleep. Oh, I did have a little help, a posse, if you will.
I don't suppose you want to give us the names and numbers of these posse members. I mean,
On the contrary, Detective, I have all their names and telephone numbers, everything. I even filmed our conversations.
this is the footage.
Everything's there.
Why are you doing this?
Did you forget my objective? Call it entrapment if you want to, but I offered a lucrative opportunity to a few of these kids that I was a little on the fence about, and sure enough, the bad ones took the bait. Cost me my whole retirement, but I got them.
Thank you. Can you just give us a minute? That is not running. It's running. I'll kill you. Okay, so
Now, what else would you like to know?